Last time on Let's Play Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
Bomb this. That will create a supply of fuel gel which will turn this lock and open the way forward. Half the way forward, I should say. And bombing this will unlock the door and proceed the way forward. It will also create an alternate route to get back, since we can't cross the bridge anymore, and create ourselves a new enemy to scan. There's the door opened for the way we need to go. Hold on to the right first. The left is actually the way we want to go, but right is somewhere I want to sidetrack to because we have ourselves an energy tank. Oh, but there's a platform up this way. We also have ourselves a missile expansion. Then when you're ready, bomb, break open, and then we have ourselves a missile expansion. I have a suit upgrade acquired. Grapple swing online. And you can also turn around on a grapple point as well. Important to note, but we can't actually do anything about that door just yet. Now we have the grapple beam, we can get across this way. If you try going left, we're inside the area. Yeah, they all say the same sort of thing. Oh, and there's a lever in front of us. You know what that means, right? It's time to pull, twist, push. I am so sorry for that. And we can see there's another landing point. There's two other landing points in fact, and we also have something in the middle which is the seed.
Samus, the satellite data has revealed two distinct energy signatures. They must be supplying power to the seed shield.
Yeah, well that's obvious.
If these targets are eliminated, the shield will be removed. We are uploading the location of each energy signature and nearby landing sites.
We're going to the fiery air dock. That's going to be our next destination. Hello, Phazon here, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, where we've just arrived in a very extreme climate area of Bryyo. Going over to the east side reveals that Bryyo is a planet of many different climates, and now we're in an extremely fiery one. Although I want to pop out this way for a moment and turn the scan visor on, because there's something of interest here. Ferguson class gunship. GF records identify pilot as Rundus. The engines are still warm. Rundus is still here, eh? Now also, you want to have a look here, this is, you might think that this here is lava, but in fact it's actually fuel gel. Substance is highly volatile. Contact with gel can cause damage. Fuel gel is used to power most modern starships in the cosmos. It is extremely rare and worlds that produce it tend to be quite prosperous. The exception to this is planet Bryyo, a Federation protectorate, and the largest supplier of fuel gel. Proceeds from Bryonian gel sales go directly to the Federation military forces protecting that sector of space. The sheer value of fuel gel is very attractive and has led to an uprise in piracy over the last 20 years. Today, raids on gel transport convoys are common, especially in frontier regions of space. The Galactic Federation has increased anti-piracy operations, and planets with fuel gel resources are protected by Federation fleets and ground forces. So, let's proceed onwards. There's a lot of interesting puzzles in Planet Bryyo, and they all involve fuel gel, particularly in this fiery area. Here's just a taste of what's coming up. Stone disc is designed to rotate inside the wall when the gel spouts are ignited. So yeah, that's quite a simple one. And this is the same thing here. Now at the end here, we have a stone head. Stonework head is blocking access to a transportation shaft, unable to enter from this side. There's also a lot of stone heads depicting various famous Bryonians here. And up here, you might be able to notice. Look carefully there because there's a missile expansion. Now, how do you get to it, you ask? The answer is we can't actually get to it just yet. But do remember that it's there. Those bits there will be how you get up there, and you will be able to use the grapple the suit to break them down, but not quite yet because that's too high up for us at the moment. And hey, we have some Reptilicus! Have a taste of my Hyper Beam! And they're dead. Let's recharge some of our health to get some back from the Hyper Beam. So this is an interesting room. There's a big puzzle in this room, but we will not be able to solve it just yet. But yeah, basically there'll be a route of power-ups we can get in this room. And this will be the room we need to go through later on to get that power-up in the first room. Because if you look at the map very carefully, you'll notice that there's a passageway there, but it's not one we can get to. But we will be able to get to it, and that's how we'll be able to get the power up in this room. Right, so now we've done that. There's one thing I want to scan here. So the main puzzle in this room is sort of not really a puzzle, but it's more of a morph ball tunnel section. However, if you try and transform to a morph ball, you can't actually go through here because the ice is blocking the way. So remember, this is here, we'll have to come back to it later. For now though, let's just move along here. Now we've got a few pieces of fuel gel right here. This is quite simple. All you do is this. That will ignite the fuel gel and create a platform that allows us to move forward. So once we've done that, we go through this door right here. And if you look on the wall, we have some Bryonian lore behind something that can be raffled. So let's read it. Bryonian data translated, entry Age of Schism. I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm not too sure. In time, the wonders of science were not enough for those who held the primal traditions in their hearts. The warnings of the Chozo to seek balance between old and new ways were not heeded by the lords of science, myself included. We forged on, ignorant of the rage in the hearts of the primals. The time came when Samus, first lord of science, denounced the primals and their traditions in the centre of the royal city. It was a flame to a dry forest. The age of science ended, and and the age of schism was born. Oh dear. Seems like this planet became a war battleground. So now in this section here, you want to have these bugs grab you like we've seen before and have them carry you up. Now ignore the first part here because that's the way we need to go. Instead you want to go up this way, eerily close to this thing which will try and eat you, but make a last dive from the left, break out this way, roll through this tunnel right here, and we have ourselves a missile expansion. Roll back through here. Now use the bombs to break open this part. And load yourself up with insects again. Which sounds a bit silly to say as it were, but that's what you have to do. Now go onto this platform, roll through here, and we're in a big tunnel. Now we have two ways to go here, but one of them is blocked off by this right here. You'll remember this is here, by the way. This is going to be a very important room, and if you've watched my Metroid Prime 2 LP, you'll know exactly why I'm sort of pointing these types of rooms out. Yeah, that's the same sort of reason, but it'll become a bit more obvious when we need to go back here. For now, let's proceed onwards. Okay, so this is a sort of manual lift, so what we need to do is use the grapple lasso to push it down. That creates the way we need to go. Health recharge, not that we need much, but we've also got a missile door right here. Oh boy, I remember this music. This music is from the original Prime, in Metroid Prime in the Phazon mines. It played when we first saw Phazon. And we have a giant pool of Phazon here and some Phazon barbs that we need to use the Hyper Beam in order to destroy. What's happening?
Samus, we just received very abnormal readings from your life support systems. Are you okay? As a precaution, we are downloading the diagnostic data from your suit to further analyze this situation. We will contact you again if we have any more information.
And this is the exact point of the game where our Hyper Beam becomes kind of broken to super overpowered broken. I'll demonstrate what I mean in the next episode, but yeah. So we've got a pool of Phazon here. Now in Prime 2, Phazon harmed you, but in this game we have Phazon coursing through our bodies. So if you go into Phazon, we can actually stand here and it actually heals us. Quite rapidly, in fact. So that's something to note. So anyway, we're going to use the grapple beam to swing across to the other side. And move on to the next room. We're going to have a big puzzle in this room. Hey, Rundus is in here! Nice to see a familiar face. So yeah, we've got a big puzzle coming up here. I'm just going to scan a few bits and bobs. You can read them if you want to. But yeah, the basic concept is that we will need to rise the tower in the centre in order to progress. Oh, we've got a new enemy right here. These are Warp Hounds. Teleports over short distances. Vulnerable to cold-based attacks. Warp Hounds are susceptible to low temperature attacks due to their nature of their thermal energy driven biosystem. They are often used by Reptilicus as guards and hunt beasts. They consume fuel gel to survive and can expel blasts of converted thermal energy to attack and defend. The creatures can teleport over short distances, disrupting many forms of electronic targeting in the process. So yeah, these guys are a perfect taste of what new hyper mode can do. So shoot enemies, but don't expel all of your hyper mode energy at once. And there's a reason for this. Once the red bar kicks in, then that means that you basically have more than your fair share worth of hyper mode energy and can keep firing the most powerful type of beams at your opponents. As a result, that means you can make easy work of your enemies. You cannot exit the hyper mode by pressing the plus button when the bar turns red, but it doesn't really matter anyway because the safety feature of kicking out about 25 minutes anyway, and that will allow you to sort of cheat the system really. So basically, hyper mode is now incredibly game breaking because if you just leave it, you can leave yourself in a permanent state of being powered up for at least the entire duration, and you don't ever need to worry about running out of Phazon energy so easily. It's really overpowered now, and you have no reason not to be using hyper mode, which is kind of depressing really. Age of War. Well, what was I saying earlier? In the beginning, the conflicts were small, out of sight for most on Bryyo, but they grew slowly out but as steady as the coming of the sun. Diplomacy gave way to brutality, and war came to our worlds. The Lords of Science turned their minds from exploration to destruction, and unleashed horrors unknown upon their primal enemies. In retaliation, the primals turned to the darkest of ancient powers, cursing us, the Science Lords, and all who served our cause. Friends from the stars tried desperately to end the conflict, all in vain. The people of war would not be denied. So it's time for the puzzle of this area. Oh, that's something for later, but yeah, I'll just go over that bit later, but didn't realise you could scan it from that point. Anyway, for now let's ignite this part. Transform to a morph ball. Jump up here. Now, let's jump into the centre platform where we have some granules. Also, every time you change the platform position, it will turn red again, but it's never needed for the logbook, in case you were wondering. So now for this part next, you need to use the grapple lasso to move this part here. And then drop this down here. Now what happens is that we can jump over to this way. And we have something here. Pump terminal is not primed. Interact with this terminal to activate the fuel jar from regulators. Right. Are you ready? It's pumping time! Pump! 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 There you go. That will activate some fuel gel. So, now that that's happened, we need to ignite the fuel gel with our charge beam. That will create a path forward and create a morph ball tunnel. Got into this morph ball tunnel allows us to access the other side, creating a morph ball tunnel through the main platform, which is pretty clever. But it gets even more clever because now we actually have to raise the platform with another one of these. So now we've got to here. So we've managed to ignite the fuel jar here, and again we have to use a bomb. Right, so now we've raised the platform. Again, we have to find the next of those bomb slots. So, of course, the morph tunnel now runs along the side of the platform, which is pretty clever. Allows us to get back to where we were before, even though the tower is now in a new position. And we have a new enemy right here. These are Gragnol adults. Resistant to most weaponry. Physical stress can destroy it. The large tail that characterizes Gragnol adults is also their weakness. If pulled with enough force, it will tear them apart. An explosive blast unit temporarily incapacitate them, making them easier to target. They possess the ability to generate an energy shield around their bodies, preventing beam shots from damaging them. They are cunning predators, flying through their turf in search of an unwary prey. They use bursts of Phazon energy to overwhelm their targets, and then swoop down to finish them. Maturities provide them with a very durable exoskeleton. So yeah, these guys cannot be killed by regular weapon fire. You have to use the grapple lasso. But they die to one hit from the grapple lasso anyway, so they really aren't too much of a problem. Also, I believe they are only in this room, so if that's the case, then make sure you scan them here. If that is the case, then yeah. So, going forward, we need to be able to do something here. Internal ignition may overload pipe storage system. So we've got a few things here. We've got some ice, which may have be invulnerable to weapon fire from this unknown ice. It might be left by Rundus, so it might be Rundus's ice, as it were. Anyway, that's where our next bomb slot is. But how do we get to it? Storage system is jammed. Pressure at critical levels. Remove valve cap to vent gel. So we need to do this. And now, valve cap removed. Leaking fuel jar is now able to be ignited. You do this, this will blow up the entire portion here. And there's a new enemy we need to scan right here. You have to scan it at this point because you weren't going to get another chance. These guys are Phazon pillbugs. Generate shield for defense. Disrupted by concussive blasts. Pillbugs are commonly found in small spaces, often making travelling through tunnels troublesome. Bombs are effective against them, however. They are underground vermin, able to energize their hard, shelled bodies with Phazon. Once charged, they will roll into a defensive shape and charge their enemies. So yeah, we cannot kill them now, but we do need to use morphable bombs, as it were, in order to destroy them. So to get through to that part, we need to go up this way. Go to the morphable tunnels. Do a sort of spring jump here. Now, there, morphable bomb. And that thing's destroyed. We've got another one to deal with. That one went down pretty quickly. So, to move onwards at this point, you can use the spring jump or bomb jump, depending which you prefer to, either works fine. Move up this way, now bomb this here. That will drop down a block which will block the fuel jar there and allow us to proceed. Now watch out for the fuel jar here because you can get hurt by it, as I just did a physical demonstration of. But yeah, we got another of these bomb slots we need to ignite. So yeah, this is the last one now. That is the final position of the central tower. Got a few enemies here to try and deal with. Right, so now the first Metroid Prime, they had 3 Metroid games to go off and heavily leaned on Super Metroid. But since the Metroid Prime trilogy started, other Metroid games have also been created. And they introduced a new feature that allowed Samus to grab onto ledges and pull herself up. This feature finally makes its way into the Prime games. It was first introduced in Metroid Fusion. This is a grab ledge. Jump forward to grab onto the ledge and automatically pull yourself up. Certain ledges are composed of unique magnetic alloys that react to your suit. By jumping on them towards them and grabbing onto them, a surge of energy will course through your suit and allow you to pull yourself up. Ledges that shimmer green are able to be grabbed onto. So yeah, this is a feature that first introduced in Metroid Fusion and continued in Zero Mission with its own power-up that allows Samus to basically grab onto ledges now, which made platforming those games significantly easier. And this is another example of Metroid Prime 3 borrowing from handheld Metroid games. So if we jump up this way, and now we're up here. So that was pretty anticlimactic, wasn't it? Anyway, to the next room. Raw fuel gel is unstable and can be easily disrupted if hit with a strong blast. Golden fixture is stuck in an open position and is constantly pouring fuel gel. Vine appears combustible. Its thick bark prevents you from using weapons to ignite it. Aged gel crystal hardened shell appears invulnerable to weapon fire. First of all, I want to destroy this thing right here and this one over there. Okay, now the enemies are out of the way. Oh, yeah, that thing there. This is a very important scan, but it's hard to get. This is a one-time only scan, I believe, in this room. If not, I have an editing screen on there to make note of that fact. But yeah, something we really want to find in this room. But this thing pops up very infrequently. So before that happens, I want to try and do something in this room before we see about trying to get the scan. You want to wait for this part to rotate around. And then when it gets to this point, shoot it. That will make it ignite. That will drop down a platform. And also allows us to collect ourselves a missile expansion. Right, so now we're going to try and get the rare scan in this room. This is going to take a significant while. So I'm going to be quiet and then I'll jump cut to the point where we'll be able to get the scan. There we go. Here's the gel ray. Passive bioform native to Bryyo. Lives within pools of fuel gel. Gel rays are non-aggressive bioforms native to Bryyo. They are one of the few creatures that make their home within the caustic pools of fuel gel. The unique exterior and shape of the gel ray allow it to withstand and glide through rivers of gel. Their main source of sustenance is small organisms that exist within fuel gel, but they are known to occasionally leap out to feed on insects that fly near the gel's surface. Wonder what would happen if one of those got caught in a Galactic Federation ship. Doesn't bear worth thinking about. There's a passageway down here that I think you want to remember about. Sort of, I mean, doesn't seem like we could do much here unless we were to wade through the fuel gel and take heavy amounts of damage, but I mean, we could try if we wanted to. Okay, that's a bad idea. Let's get back to safety as soon as possible. There's a missile expansion down that way, but looks like we can't get it just yet. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this episode. In the next episode of Let's Play Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, We continue to explore the fiery area of Bryyo in search of a way to destroy the to try and get into the Leviathan seas. See you guys next time. Goodbye.